Go.
All right, so we're back. So I'm just going to mix it up really, really good because as I was dehydrating, it didn't all get mixed up. It just kind of got put in there as it was going about, right? So you see we're getting more into the green with the, the leaf there, right? Little green leaf. And it's probably a parsley. And that's not a parsley. That's probably like a kale or something. Spinach. Or no, that's beet leaf. That's what that is. Can you see that? On the side, you see the little purple? That tells you that's a beet leaf. So that's a beet leaf. We've got beet leaves in there, beet stems. We've got cauliflower. We've got carrots. We've got potatoes. You can see right here. And, this is like for a quick hot lunch that's very nutritious. It's something, again, that I'd love to see, be produced on a mass scale so that we can ship them off in barrels to the people that need it in, countries where, there's crises. We can ship it off to schools and, kids can come in and say, I want a cup of soup, right? So that's the kind of direction that we're going with, something easy to make a lunch with, just something hot but nutritious, right? So, now, I've never done this before, okay? So this is really good. What we're going to do is I'm going to put it into jars now, and I've mixed it up. I'm not going to season it. I'm not going to spice it other than what's in there right now because there is a secret ingredient. It's not much. I'm not even going to put salt in it at this point because I found that, I find salt changes the properties of the food. And I found that with tomatoes, obviously with acid, right? So if you dehydrate tomatoes and you salt them, which my son wanted me to do, they taste really good in the beginning, but I find that they kind of discolor. So that's obviously the salt that does that, right, with the acid. So I never did put tomatoes in this. I don't think I will. Maybe another batch I might. But for now, what we're going to do is we're going to put it in this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to boil some water. And we're going to take, maybe that much. Just of this. Just take for an example, right? Like if one of my kids was to take like that much to school in a bag. And they had boiled water in a cup. So what we're going to do is we're going to experiment. And then I bought, because I don't have a broth base for it. So just to keep it simple for the kids, and I don't want to like start salting it and adding my own spices too much in there, right? Because I don't want to, I don't want it to spoil fast. It will stay fresher if it just stays like this, I think, right? So in that case, whatever your favorite, I have this, whatever your favorite little, bouillon pack. It could be a beef base. It could be, it could be, well, come on now. Don't stop now. Why is he not working now?
It's paw.
Which one? Oh, there you go. Okay. It could be a vegetable base. It could be a beef broth base. It could be simple soy sauce, right? Just a tablespoon of soy sauce. I think it kind of goes with the taste, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put these in jars, and then we're going to boil up some water, and we're going to test it out with this, and then we'll see what the kids think. All right.
Okay, go.
Okay, so now it's just boiled water. We want it nice and hot, right? So we're this is our experiment with our secret recipe. So 3 of us are going to try it for the first time today. So there's the boiled water. We're going to just take it over here. Okay. The other one. And we're just going to eyeball it. Okay. That's what you do with a large family. You just eyeball it. So just imagine the kids who want for themselves for a snack, right? So they come and they put a tablespoon in. We'll just say a tablespoon because the stuff is going to swell. So we don't know yet how it works, right? This is the first time. So 3 of us are trying it. So we'll just put that in there. And then maybe just stir it around. Right?
Nice color.
Yeah, well, it's beet soup, right? So maybe a little more. All right. Easy to take to school. It's just boiled water. That's what I'm thinking.
Now it's just as so healthy.
You can smell it. Come here and smell it. My God, it smells like beet soup already.
It's just as healthy as eating real beet soup.
Yeah.
Like fresh.
Yeah, and then for convenience purposes, I mean, you can make your own, right? We're going to just use a chicken broth. You can make your own, but right now I don't, you know, I just make it simple, right? So these are already pre-packaged, so they're kind of nice, right? And again, you can choose your kind that you want. If you just want vegetable, you can use a vegetable, right? Just to taste it. Stir it around. And we're going to let it cook just like this, as if it was a cup of soup, right? It should, because it's so fine. See, it's already coming off. Look at that. It's already cooking. And it smells like soup. Smells like borscht. Just what I wanted. Okay? This one here has a lot of vegetables. This one not so much. So we'll just take a little out of this one and put a little more in that one. This one I didn't put a bouillon cube in this one. Nothing there. Just these two. So we're going to leave those two like that. We're going to leave this one like that. And then we're going to let that just sit for about 5 minutes so that the boiled water can cook, because everything was done very fine, right? This is a buttermilk powder. So if you wanted to have the sour cream taste with it, I would think that you could add a little of this in. I don't know. We'll try it. But first, let's just see what happens with that, and I'll go back to cutting in the shortening. So we'll be back. Okay? We'll be back.
Okay, go.
All right, so I either put too much in there, like there's a lot there. So this one here I think can actually get into a little bigger cup. It does taste very good. It's more like into a raw food. It's like, it's not like, do you want to try it? This one here, try it. Just don't drip on the camera. Right? What do you think?
It's okay.
Well, is it okay or is it good? It's
like
chewy, right? It's a little chewy because it's not being boiled, right? It's just sitting in boiled water. This one here, there's a lot, or maybe what I did was too much. Maybe you only need that much, you know, I don't know. This one here is a little more bland. I did taste them. Do you want to taste this one? This one's bland. But I think even if you didn't have a bouillon cube, just don't drip on the camera, please. Even if you didn't have a bouillon cube, just basic salt would be, I think, good. Okay, so this one we're just going to use basic salt and a little bit of buttermilk powder. We're going to stir that in there. Okay, that's just a buttermilk powder, just to give it that, you know, like a sour cream taste. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking, right? And already you can see it, right? So we'll just taste this. See if that made a difference without using the oxy cube. Now that's starting to taste like a beet soup. I can taste it. It's cooling down quite fast though. So you'd have to put it in like a thermos. If you were at school or something, you know, put it in a thermos, pour the hot water in the thermos and put the lid on it. And then let it sit for maybe 10 minutes or something with the lid on, because without the lid, it's cooking too fast. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out a thermos. I'm going to dig out a thermos, and we're going to try that in a thermos and see what happens in a thermos. Right? So in other words, you can fill up your thermos in the morning before you leave with what you want in it, and then take it empty, and then when you go to school or college or wherever, you just put your hot water in there. So let me taste this one. This one I don't like. Not so much. Want to try it?
No, it has buttermilk in it.
It has buttermilk in it. Okay, well, let's try this one. Let's see. I like that one better. So. It needs to sit longer, though. And a little chewy. So for people who like raw foods, because I never blanched my food when I dehydrated to kill the enzymes. I've done a little bit of reading on both. You know, lots of times they say, oh, you know, blanch everything, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't make any sense to blanch everything, right? The only thing I blanched was potatoes, and that was just to prevent them from going brown. And that was the only reason I blanched them. For the most part, it looks good. So now we just need to fine-tune on the amount, and I think that would be based on individual taste. you know, once we get a chance to figure out how we want to do this. So what I'm going to do is I may just put this all into one pot for now, right? Because this is our first attempt. And I'm going to try the thermos trick with the lid on, because I think it will insulate the heat and it will help to cook it better. Yeah, because it's losing too much, excuse me, it's losing too much heat, and the vegetable itself, because they weren't blanched or anything like that when they were dehydrated, are in essence raw foods, right? So for people who like that kind of food, you know, that would be fine, right? It's a little chewy, so that's why I want to kind of put it in a thermos and let it sit in the thermos for 10-15 minutes before you take the lid off, right? So in the meantime, we're not going to waste it, because it's very, very good. It does taste like beet soup. And what we're going to do is we're going to put all three in a pot, and then we're going to put it on simmer, and then we're going to just cook it on low for a little bit and see how that goes. So we'll be back. Okay, so it's Fukashima on the fly, number 18. It's going on almost midnight here, so I'm getting tired. I've been running around all day in the pantry. That's why I decided to do this. So this is the whole wheat, 50% whole wheat, you know, half and half. 6 cups white flour, 6 cups whole wheat flour. This is all just 12 cups white flour. And here's a little jar for downstairs for my dad and his wife to try it out and see if they want to be able to see if they like it, right? So we're going to take a little bit there. And we got the other one on the stove cooking right now a little bit, right? I have to hunt for, there it is. I have to hunt for thermoses, because I kind of put them away, right? So it's looking very, very good, right? And in this case, hold on, little guy, don't you be going over there. And in this case, you know, something simple as this, you know, I'll put maybe half a tablespoon or a half a teaspoon or something, you know, depending on whatever. It's a chicken bouillon. There it is right there, just in bulk, right? You don't have to use, the little packages was just for convenience purposes. So we're going to experiment and see what we come up with. So now we're going to bring it just to a boil. A little bit here, and then turn it down, let it stew for a bit. It smells good though.
It does. It tastes good, by the way.
I know it does.
It's just like porch.
Yeah, it does. Well, there's a secret ingredient in there, that's why. Be right back. Tell me when. Go. All right, members and friends. So what we did is we cooked it up a little bit. It looks very good. It smells like beet soup. It tastes like beet soup. It is beet soup. We didn't cook it very long. I added a little more water in it, and I added about a teaspoon or so of, you know, a chicken bouillon from a different container, you know, where you buy in bulk, right? So it tastes really good. So far, so good. I'll save the thermos for another day, and we'll try that another day. Okay? And then, you know, if you wanted to, just for an example, you could take like a cup of soup package, put it in there, and a tablespoon of that for some extra vitamins, right? Because beets are very good for the blood. So, just as a second thought, right? And then I've got my whole wheat biscuit powder here. So you can see how big that is. This one here is just the all-purpose flour. It's already done. This one's going downstairs for my dad and his wife. So what I did is I had a little bit of that left and a little bit of that, so I mixed them up together, so that's fine. So that can go downstairs for them. So they get lucky, right? They're going to wake up tomorrow and they'll say, oh, what's that? So and then you put an egg, you know, you take a cup, all right, a cup of that, put it in a bowl, crack an egg, a little bit of milk. There you go, you can make pancakes, right? So if you want to chop up an apple or something, you can put it in there and you can have pancakes with apples or something. And then they're going to try this for themselves. And so that's Fukashima on the fly, secret recipe number 18. All right, peace out. Okay, so I'm back. Just wanted to point that out. So this is pretty much full. This one's pretty much full. That one's, you know, almost full, right? So you can see how much is there. That's quite a bit. And then you've got the 2 boxes over there, which would have costed me $4. The shortening, I didn't even use half a can. I only used 4 cups, right, for 24 cups of flour. So that's pretty good. So I'd probably put this at about maybe $5.50, $6, right, in terms of like the baking powder, which was an organic baking powder that I used, right, and And, you know, two teaspoons of salt didn't cost very much, right? And a little bit of flour, right? So maybe, you know, $5.50, $6. And that's what I got for $6 compared to $4 over there. So you can see the difference, right? I don't want to see the diaper. Right? You can see the difference. So if you can, you know, if you have a large family and you need to do something like that, I would highly recommend it. And then from there, once I get a little more organized, get my table, you know, more cleared off and still putting things away, right? Then we'll get into some cooking with the berries that I have. All right. Peace out again.